Angie is here with more on the dangerously cold temperatures set to grip the nation. Some of these numbers don't look real.
They don't look real. And it's going to be a kind of prolonged period because here's what we've got going on. Normally we have this area of low pressure, the polar vortex. You've heard about it, I'm sure. It's become very popular in recent years. And we usually see that confined to parts of the Arctic. But we're actually going to see a piece of it kind of shift to the south, work into portions of the northern tier of the country. That basically brings all of that Arctic air into our backyard. So here's what we've got. This major outbreak where temperatures are going to be running 15 to 35 degrees below normal. So no surprise, we've got cold weather alerts up for 75 million people at this time. And look where our temperatures go. Today, into the teens for Denver. We've got a wind chill of -9 in Minneapolis for your afternoon temperatures. This spreads farther to the south as we get through the day tomorrow. Just 18 for St. Louis. Notice temperatures even as far south as Houston into the low 40s, but feeling like the 30s. And then we really gear up for the bitter cold as we get into the early parts of next week, guys. A high temperature of just 4 degrees on Tuesday in Chicago.
All right, Angie, see you back in a bit.
So as we mentioned,
here she's giggling. What do you got?
I'm always
giggling.
Guys, let's go out west because you just heard Maggie talking about everything going on out there. And we actually do have the chance to see our next Santa Ana wind event happen Monday through Wednesday, gusts 40, 50 plus miles per hour. So a heads up for folks there. The relative humidity values are going to be low and we still don't have any rain in sight. Here's a look at your big picture Saturday. Some rain stretching from basically the Great Lakes down to the Gulf Coast. That system will be on the move, maybe bring a little bit of interior snow to parts of the New England area. But then look at this snow that develops tomorrow. We'll have an area of low pressure, bring us some impactful snow potentially for the I-95 corridor. That's a look at the weather across the country. Let's see what's happening in your neighborhood. And that's a look at your forecast, guys.
Angie, thank you. Our resident Detroit Lions fan, and still to come, Emily Aketa is looking ahead to this big weekend of NFL action.
Hey, Angie.
That's a much better title than meteorologist, in my opinion, guys, especially if they win tonight. All right, we've got some snow in the forecast, some wintry weather, some winter alerts up stretching from the Appalachians up into New England, and those are going to be kind of expanding likely as we get through the next couple of days because we've got a couple of shots at picking up some snow and some rain across this region. The rain for the southeast today, a little bit of that snow for the northeast, but that's really the least impactful of the two systems that we're going to see. This next low starts to work up the coast here as we get into tomorrow. Notice that snow is going to spread from the mid-Atlantic up into New England. We'll see it across the I-95 corridor. When we see kind of that line of rain to snow and where exactly that sets up, that's going to be the big question. But right now, it looks like we could get some moderate snowfall, anywhere from 3 to 6 inches across this region. You can see places like Boston in that. Those higher elevations, of course, will pick up some pockets of heavier snow. Let's look at the weather across the country. Let's see what's happening in your neighborhood.
We are back with your pop star. What you got, Joe?
Here we go. First up, we have here's something you've never heard before.
Yeah.
Like
I need to be in a dimly lit bar with a mic.
Exactly.
It sounded good, too. That sounded
amazing. And performing with the Duke Ellington Orchestra, too, which is an extra bonus there. All right, finally, it's kind of cool because Chappell Roan has made like her makeup such a cool part of her like aura, and so to see behind that, I think is awesome.
Yeah. Kind of like Lady Gaga back in the day, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good comparison.
I feel like it's a good message for a lot of young people too, right? To see like these people are beautiful as they are.
Exactly.
So thank you. Still to come, a look back on 50 years of SNL and SNL character. Is there one that sticks out?
Oh my gosh, putting me on the spot. Anything Kristen Wiig does. I mean, honestly, she's so funny.
Small hands.
It's hard. You have to pick like an era because there's just too many. All right, guys, how about this winter weather that's just going to take shape and stick with us for the extended period? We've got bitterly cold conditions expected. 75 million people as far south as parts of the Gulf Coast are under these winter alerts right now. This cold weather is going to settle in, and it is here to stay. Denver, just 15 degrees this afternoon. Minneapolis, 8. Your wind chill, -9. So extra layers. Even Oklahoma City into the 30s today. Look what happens by tomorrow. 0 for Minneapolis, 18 degrees below for what it'll feel like. That's the warmest point of the day. Even Houston into the 40s, but feeling like the 30s. And then here comes the really Arctic air, especially as we get into the early part of next week. Monday into Tuesday, we go from 10 on Monday in Chicago to just 4 degrees. Those wind chill values, they're going to be bitter cold, anywhere from 20 below to 30 below, even 40 below for some spots, especially across the Rockies, the Plains, and parts of the upper Midwest. And we've also got a little bit of snow to talk about here over the next couple of days, guys, specifically across the I-95 corridor. We'll see that as we get into tomorrow. Let's look at the weather across the country. Let's see what's happening in your neighborhood. And that's a look at your forecast, guys.
Thank you.
You got it.
Target lady, right? That's what
Target lady. Target lady, the Californians.
Still ahead, a taste test to see which foods.
We are back with
with a look ahead to what's in store for those of you who like to go out to eat in 2025. Doesn't everybody?
There better be food out here before this is done. It includes a different take on healthy drinks and a surprising pizza topping.
AI is involved too, right, Joe?
Yeah, that's sort of an apologies. I did not wake up early this morning to make a pizza.
Where is my Detroit slice?
The only one that was odd to me was the toothbrush one. Everything else I'd be like, yeah, that looks fun.
It was a cool experience.
And the
they're
little
kind of
tiny
poking,
glass of
the
wine.
little tiny, it's a fine glass of wine, so you got to preserve it, you know. So, but the beauty drinks, you got to go for that.
Whatever works.
We're gonna be right back.
That's going to do it for us this Saturday morning.
A very special thanks to our friends from the First Academy in Orlando.